पुत्रेण तव शिष्येन धीमता अत्र शूरामहेश्वासाः भीमार्जुनसमायुधि युयुधानो विराटश्च द्रुपदश्च महारथः कृष्णकेतुश्चेतुर्दानः काशीराजश्च वीर्यवान् पुण्डिभोजश्च शैलश्च नरपुङ्गवः युधामन्युश्च विक्रान्तः रुद्रमौजाश्च वीर्यवान् सौभद्रो द्रौपदेयाश्च सर्वैव महारथाः अस्माकं तु विशिष्टाये तानि भोजतिलोत्तमः नायकाः सैन्यस्य संज्ञातं तां प्रतीते भवान् भीष्मश्च कर्णश्च यपश्च समिञ्जयः अश्वत्थामाविकर्णश्च सौमदत्तिस्तथैव च अन्ये च बहवः शूराः मदर्थे न्यस्तजीविताः नानाशस्त्रप्रकरणाः सर्वे युद्धविशारदाः अपरजातं तदस्माकं फलं भीष्माभिरक्षितं पर्याप्तं विदधेषां फलं भीष्माभिरक्षितम्.
The Bhagavad Gita has 701 verses. 701 verses, he is trying to explain the question of Arjuna. The question of Arjuna is, what is it that I should do? Every point of time in life, there is always this question. The question is, what I should do? Or, am I right? Pinnadi kekkradha? Are you able to hear me? You are not able to hear. You switch off some fan. It's too noisy. Unnurukattu. it okay, no? Stronger than it is. It's okay. It's another chair, so slanted. Don't want an accident. This is okay. How much ever verses he speaks, the question doesn't change. The question always remains the same. The question is, what should be done now? Question is, what should be done now? Or, am I doing the right thing now? Always this question, he can give 700 verses, he can give 7,000 verses. All the scriptures put together, also the question doesn't get answered. The question remains the same. The question is, am I doing the right thing? Am I doing what I am supposed to? Am I doing what I am supposed to do? The answer is yes. In the afternoon, the answer is no. In the night, again the answer is yes. Next morning you wake up, the answer is no. So, always this question remains. The question is, am I doing the right thing, or am I doing what I am supposed to do? Am I doing what I am supposed to do? Or the question remains is, at least tell me what I should do. At least tell me what I should do. And all these questions, actually it's not question. It is just all these are not actual questions. All these looks like questions, but in and through these questions, the mind is asking, allow me to do what? Allow me to do what I like to do. What I like in the morning, I will not like in the afternoon, but that is okay. But at any point of time, allow me to do what I like to do. You can say, this is what I ought to do. You can say, this is what I want to do. This is what I am supposed to do. You can use any word. And don't get carried away by the words. Because the mind is saying what? Allow me to do what I like to do. But then what you liked in the morning is not what you like in the afternoon. The mind says, so what? Mind says, so what if I don't like? Continue. What? Do what I like to do. And either you ask permission within yourself, or you go and ask permission from others outside, in the form of questions. What is that form of question? Am I doing the right thing? Is this what I should do? Okay, I have heard. This is not what I should be doing. So at least tell me what I should do, so I can follow. Clear? Always this question remains. And he can give 700 verses as an answer, he can give 7,000 verses as an answer, but the question doesn't get resolved, because for this question to be resolved, You need a fundamental change from within. You need a fundamental change from within. That paradigm shift inside, not outside. Any listening from outside will not help. That's where we keep reading the book again and again and again. Having finished Bhagavad Gita, at least we could have started some other text, Yoga Vasishtha, at least Yoga Vasishtha we could have started. Very good books, sir. Why is the same Bhagavad Gita? Because we have read it again, or we have been listening to it for years, ages and ages. One of the boys asked me in the academy, sir, how many? He is going to do some classes, and also they said, take him, he has been doing classes for so long, so ask him. So he came and said, how long it takes to complete Bhagavad Gita textbook? I said, 18 years. I said, why? 18 years it will take to complete Bhagavad Gita text? I said, you come and ask the Chennai people, they will tell you how much time it takes to complete one text. Even then, the text doesn't get over. So we have started all over the text again. And Arjuna keeps on asking the same question. Tell me what I should do. Tell me what I should do. Tell me what I should do. Or at least tell me that I am doing the right thing, no? At least why don't you give me the certificate saying that you are doing the right thing? Whoever agrees with you that you are doing the right thing, you will be attracted to that. As where anybody says anything, I say, yes, you are doing the right thing. But there is no right thing. Or if at all there is only one right thing. What is that one right thing in life? You can use the word dharma, you can use the word God, you can use the word Atman, you can use the word self, any word you can use. That's the only useful thing in life. Rest are all useless. And the mind always says, I will finish up, give me some more time, I will finish the useless things and then I will come to that useful thing. Because I have some very important things has to be done in the useless areas. I will finish up with all the useless areas and then I will come to the useful. More you get involved into the useless things, you will be more, you will get more involved. Because there is no end to it. Useless in the sense of you go to a supermarket, you go to a shop, and then you pay to buy one object. Then they say, sir, we will deliver it in your house, packed. So you pay for it, you take the receipt, you come home and sit. And when the package is delivered, you open, it's exactly the opposite of what you have asked for. Exactly the opposite of what you have asked for. And you take it also. And you take it. Why? You take it also. Why? You take it also. Follow the example. You go to a shop. You buy a refrigerator. No refrigerator. Videocon refrigerator, Samsung, you buy, you pay for it. Then, and the fellow says, you can't carry it, and we will deliver it at home. So you come home, next day the package is delivered. You open, is exactly the opposite of what you have ordered for. What you have ordered for and what that fellow has delivered is entirely the opposite. And you take it also. What makes you to take it? You have already paid. He is giving you something. He is not giving you what you have paid for. You paid for 10,000 rupees. I don't know the cost of a refrigerator. I don't know. You paid a refrigerator for 50,000 rupees, and that fellow is delivering a plastic refrigerator only worth only 500 rupees, and you take it and you keep it. What makes you to do that? It has come, therefore take it. I will till I get that I will give this. What do you do? Why you take it and you keep it? The hope one day you will get it. You take it. You keep it. Why should you take it? Now you are awakened. Yeah, correct. No. Adalella very correct. You wake up in the world, you wake up in the morning, and the world comes and gives you something, you take it. Somebody makes a remark, you take it. Some loss happens here, you take it. Some death here happens, you take it. Some marriage there happens, you take it. Why? There you are very clear. Here, what is the difference? There you are awakened. Here you are not yet awakened. The child will take it because the child doesn't know the difference. The child will take it and it thinks it's the same thing. The child will take it, but you will not take. Clear? If you are sensible, you will not take, but you take. Why do you take it? Why do you take it? You are deluded to believe that it is the same thing. You are deluded into believing that what you have ordered is what you have received. And others comes and tells you, what? This is not what you have ordered. But then you will fight with him and say, no, this is what I paid for it. I know. This is what I have ordered. Were you there when you bought it with me yesterday? The fellow says, no, I wasn't there. Therefore, you don't? There. All the enlightened master comes and tells you what you have ordered and what you are getting is two different things. But you take it. You take it. Why you take it? Is because you are deluded to believe that it is the same thing. Who can wake you up? Nobody can wake you up. Yeah. Even if somebody tries and wake you up, you will sing a lullaby and make that man also fall off to sleep. What is the lullaby? Lullaby is the same tune again and again and again, and that man falls off to sleep listening to your lullaby. So he is singing one type of lullaby and you sing another type of lullaby. And his lullaby is so attractive, we can quickly fall off to sleep. Why? Nothing in that we understand. Nothing in that looks attractive. Not only that which he is singing, he is taking away that which you consider as worthwhile. That's where it's very difficult. is going to take away from you that which you think is worthwhile. Example, the multi-billionaire's son is playing with marbles. He is playing with marbles. 2-year-old boy, 1-year-old boy is playing with marbles. And the father comes and tells him, why are you playing with marbles? Even before he is born, the father has deposited 10 million in his name already. Already he is a millionaire. He is saying, why are you playing with marbles? Why don't you play with something else? What the child will ask, after listening to all the discourses, the child will ask, with my 10 million, how much of marbles I can get? Clear? The question that after listening to the entire discourse about the worthiness of you are the self, you are infinite, your nature is supreme. Now you listen to all that discourse. At the end of the discourse you will ask, what? With all this, how much more marbles I can get? Arjuna keeps on asking that question. How much more marbles I can get? How much more marbles I can get? And Krishna goes on giving what? Drop the marbles. Drop the marbles. Now comes the actual difficulty. The difficulty is you can never drop anything, you can only take up something. You can never drop anything. You cannot drop. You cannot drop anything. Can you drop anything? You can't drop. You can only take up. When you take up something else, that which you are holding on to now will drop by itself. So you can only take up. That taking up could be between likes and dislikes or something beyond likes and dislikes. You follow now? You can't drop anything. Don't try to drop anything because you can't drop. Or you think mind says it is possible to, I will drop everything, renunciation I will do. The Bhajagovindam, he says, the man leaves everything and gets attached to the begging bowl. He has dropped everything, and from outside he looks like a great man of renunciation. And what is he attached to? He said, he is attached to his begging bowl. Because in the middle of the night, he is waking up to check whether it is it's still there or not. He has not, and he thinks he has dropped. You cannot drop. Why you cannot drop? As long as you have a strong mind, it will be attached to. Mind means attachment. Mind means attachment. Mind means craving. That's all. Mind knows only two things to do: to get attached and to crave. That's all. Not knowing the consequences of craving, not knowing the consequences of attachment, the mind continues to get attached. The mind continues its craving. Again I repeat, mind nale, don't worry about mind. There are 200 definitions of mind. All boils down to only two fundamental things. What is it? Mind is that which gets attached, possessive, or it craves. Either it is possessive, attached, or it craves. it can crave for sensual indulgence, it can crave for emotional delight, it can crave for more and more knowledge, but mind is that which craves using all the equipments of body, the mind and the intellect. Mind is that which gets attached. It gets attached. Wherever it goes, whatever it does, it has to get attached. Attachment means, attachment na 4 words use. Attachment means 4 words. I, my, me, mine. That's all attachment is. I, my, me, mine. That's all. That's all attachment. Wherever you go, you have to necessarily bring in any one of these words or a combination of this word. Somewhere the permutation combination keeps changing, but you can never go out of this scope. This is called attachment. What is detachment? If the focus on I is attachment, focus on you is detachment. If focus on I is attachment, focus on you is detachment. What I can get or what I can, when I think what I can get, the focus is on me. When I think what I can give, the focus is on you. I and mine. Me and mine. We, collective. Clear? Let us be collective. We. Clear? What is we? I will not enter your house, you should not enter my house. I will not steal from you, you should not steal from me. You don't enter my territory, I will not enter your territory. This is called we. Then there is no we. Then it is universal. The moment that boundaries is gone, it is universal. Then it is not only between you and me alone. It is between. The moment that distinction dissolves, the whole thing shifts to it becomes so universal. It becomes so universal. You follow? Mind knows craving. Mind can only crave. What is craving? Craving. Possess. I said 2 things. Mind gets attached. Distinct from attachment. Use the 2 words attachment and possession as one and the same. That is one thing. Another thing of the mind is craving. What is craving? Wanting more and more. Adding to the list of wants. Craving. What is craving?
You are not happy with what you have.
You are not happy with what you have. Where will I? Oh, when will I get that?
You are not contented to be
Craving. Yes. What is craving? Oh, okay. Keep on thinking about it. An obsession. Correct. An obsession. Correct. What causes obsession? Obsession. A feeling that you don't have it, or you don't have enough of it. Obsession. What is obsession? Repeated thought. So, repeated thought, full stop. Obsession, na? Repeated thought. Anything you repeat again and again and again, you get obsessed. Another word for obsession is, that's why when you are obsessed with something, Vedanta will not work. Unique? Correct. Insane. Any form of obsession leads to insanity. Any form of obsession leads to insanity. It doesn't matter about what you are obsessed. No sir, but I am only obsessed about God only, no? Is it okay to be obsessed with God? Okay, maybe obsessed with God. You can't be obsessed. No, like Chaitanya, like Meera, like Meera, like Chaitanya, like Kabir, they are all obsessed with God, no? You can't be, or if they are obsessed, they will be insane. Any form of obsession leads to insanity. Insanity and delusion is one and the same. That's why he says, in one word he says, the whole world is deluded. The entire world is insane. Because they are obsessed. Everyone is obsessed. The areas of your obsession looks so justifiable to you. And your area of obsession is irritating to those around you. Again I repeat. Your areas of obsession looks very attractive, very genuine, very legitimate only to you. And to everyone around you, it causes irritation. Ramtirtha says, it all starts with a rupture, he says. It all starts with a mild irritation. It starts with a mild irritation. You continue till the point of death. You will continue this obsession. Your areas of obsession looks justifiable only to you, not to others. Why? Because only your mind is running behind it, not the other's mind. That's why they say, what is there in that you are running behind it? What is there in that you are running behind that? Everybody asks, and that man says, there is something in it which you don't, but there is something very attractive. And who gives that attraction? The object doesn't give that attraction. Your obsession gives that attraction. What gives that attraction is not that person. What gives that attraction is not that object. Your own obsession. Make it look so attractive. And how you got obsessed? Continuously repeating. Continuously repeating. Gita is supposed to break these two things. What? It's supposed to break the craving. It's supposed to break the attachment. Attachment to the past, craving about the future. Attachment to the past, craving about the future. I have a son attached from the past, but craving. Grandson, no, at least to continue the legacy. Yeah. What that legacy goes away. Yeah, the world will be saved if that legacy goes away. Yeah, why continue that legacy? as per Ramtirtha legacy. Attachment is to the past, craving is always about the future. So either the mind goes into the past in the form of its own attachments, or it goes into the future running behind its own cravings. Running behind its own. Nevertheless, both the movement, what it does to you, both the movement of the mind, either to the past or the future, takes away the reality from you. The present. The present is the only reality. The past is in your mind. The future is your imagination. Both are delusion. Both are of the mind. And the reality is only the present is the only reality. And the mind always says, okay, இது நாளைக்கு கூட, but that will not come, no sir. இல்லை, ஒரு வாரம் 2 வாரம் உங்கள் கிளாஸ் இல்லைன்னா கூட பரவாயில்ல, your class will come, but then that will not come, no. Either to the past or to the future. In these two things, in the form of attachment and craving, you lose sight of the reality. You lose sight of the reality. What is the reality? The present is the reality. Therefore, being the soul, having understood the present is the only reality, in that present, in that real thing, you will not waste time with useless things. You will start doing something useful. You understand? Having understood what? The only thing that you have now is the present. And the present is the only reality. In that reality, in that present, what are you doing? Either you can do useful things or useless things. Useful thing means, what is useful? Yeah, what is useful? Correct, say that. Yeah. To know who you are. That is the useful thing. Useless things is, I will know about everything else, and then finally I will come to knowing. Finally I will come to knowing. Or you will get such an interest in knowing yourself when none of your equipments will cooperate. None of your equipments cooperates, or you have accumulated too much already. At that point of time, the mind will say, I want self-realization. Yeah. Because the mind has assumed what? Self-realization is another object. Another object. As though I can get so many things. One more thing I can get in life is 100 good things I have, sir. The 101 are self-realization, which it will be so nice, no? Yeah, I have 100 objects in the house. 101 is self-realization. Yeah. Self-realization, all the 100 things must go. It's not adding 101. It's not adding 101. It is when you let go of that 100, what remains is the self. What remains is the mind will not cooperate for the goal of self-realization, because mind always likes attainment, achievement. Mind always likes attainment and achievement, because mind likes to fight. Mind likes to, Adhan Bhagavad Gita. Mind wants to fight. Mind likes to fight. What is the fight? What is the fight the mind likes? I don't have it. I do so much of. You don't have it. put in so much of effort to get it, and then you say, now why? And when it comes to the goal of self-realization, he says, that which you are seeking, you are that already. You are not going to attain it. You are not going to achieve it. Now the mind says, first I will take care of all the achievements and attainments. That which I am already. Why? That which I am already. Why bother? Because mind likes to fight. Mind likes to fight. Only through fight, it thinks it can attain. Instead of saying fight, you say hard work. There is no hard work, just work. Why hard work? Life says work, mind says hard work. Harder the work, greater is your ego that stands erect behind it. Greater is your ego that stands erect behind it. Yeah, that's why you say hard work. And you should see that brightness in that eyes when that man says hard work, because there is so much of pride in that, so much of victory in that, so much of knowledge comes and says, that which you are seeking, you are that already. At least fight, strive, attain, achieve. Mind says, mind is happy, mind will cooperate. Fully it will cooperate. Same mind you say, that which you are seeking, you are that already not. Vedanta is boring. After that, the fundamental is boring. After that, you built a beautiful edifice of very interesting knowledge, sir. Very, very useful knowledge, very interesting knowledge. But fundamentally it is boring. Why? Spiritual path is fundamentally like that. Because it says there is no attainment, there is no achievement. That which you are seeking, you are that already. That which you are seeking, you are that already. Friday, day before yesterday, was the new book, Thesis on God. God released Thesis on God. And you read that book, you will think, already why another book to say the same thing? Yeah. Petrol and car, three states of consciousness, petrol and car. You think, why another book? Anyway, it is there already in. Oh, he signed. He signed. Thou art God. And he signed and he gave the copy. அப்படிதான் போட்டிருக்கிறார். Thou art God. That, open that. Thou art God. Close it. Say, I can write 800 more books, but still you guys won't understand. I can write 800 more books, but still you will not understand one word. What is that? Thou art. Thou art. But then I don't agree, sir. We are not. You feel very humble to say you are not God, but then your ego makes you to believe you are slightly more powerful than God himself. Yeah. At least God says, I don't know about tomorrow, but you know everything about. Yeah. At least God says, I don't know about tomorrow. What you do today only going to come to you as tomorrow. But you know everything about. You know for next 4 generations also you know what's going to. Yeah. You know everything. You know. And the examples he gave. What is the example? You give birth to a child. Under the full knowledge what? Your child will outlive you. Correct? You give birth to a child with that full assumption, with that full knowing, with that full knowledge. What is that? Your child will outlive you. The day you understand, you will have a child, but possibilities are you will outlive your child. Mind says, we are talking all the wrong things. We are talking all the bad. ஏதோ நல்லதா ஒரு 4 வார்த்தை கேட்கலான்னு வந்தா why are you அவசரமா clear? Why are you talking all the wrong things? Then you get married with the full knowledge that you are going to lead a happy life. Yeah. Chances are it might not be so happy. Yeah. It might not be so happy. Knowledge. That knowledge, what you call as knowledge, is nothing but your. What you call as knowledge is nothing but your imagination. It's nothing but your delusion. What is the delusion? My child will outlive me. My grandchild will outlive. My grandchild will outlive my child. And my great-grandchild will outlive my grandchild. It goes on and on and on. It goes. Since you think like that, you make full preparation for. You make the full preparation for everything except. Yeah. You can take the car out with the full hope that you and your car will both reach safely. The full thing, you and your car will both reach safely. Sometimes car will be safe, you will not be there. Sometimes you will be there, car will not be there. The moment you understand that, what happens? The mind gets so afraid, it will not move out of the house itself. It becomes a cover. It will not even move out of the house. Yeah. Either it walks with the pride and the courage, all comes from the pride and courage, all comes from ignorance, delusion. The pride comes from delusion. All your courage comes from delusion. What is the delusion? Your child will outlive you, and they take promises also. Yeah. When they are in love with each other, they will take promises. What is the promise? What is the promise the lovers take? You should not die before me. And the person also says, I will do your funeral and then only I will die. Yeah. They take, no? Today they will take. Yeah. Today they will take. Yeah. Valentine's Day. They take. You have to be absolutely in delusion to give a promise to anyone. You have to be. That's where Krishna never gives, or he gives promises and he can break it also, because you have to be absolutely drunk to give a promise. What is the promise? What is the promise? What is the promise? I will take care of you. I will take care of you. Don't give that promise, because you can't take care of. You can't take care of yourself first. You can't take care of your own self. Your mind is not listening to you. You tell the mind, don't go na. It goes everywhere. You tell the mind, go na. It doesn't go. You tell the mind, don't go. It goes. You tell the mind, go. It stops. And the promise is what? I will take care of you. I will protect you. I am there, no, for you. I am there, no. Even if I am not there, see, so much I have kept for you. Even after I go, this will take care of you. The first word starts with the word dharma. The first word of the Bhagavad Gita starts with the word dharma. If at all you want to say dharma will take care, dharma will protect. At least say that. If dharma has to protect, no, you have to be dharmic, no? That's no problem. If dharma has to protect you, you have to be dharmic. Then only dharma will, you do all the adharma, and then the dharma, how it will protect? It will not. Delusion is to give promise. What is the promise? Promise is, I am there. I will take care. How much ever you take care, it's not taken care of. How much ever you take care, it's not taken care of. Nothing is taken care of. How much ever you take care, nothing is taken care of, because at the end of the day, everybody either takes care of themselves or destroy themselves. Everybody, ultimately speaking, this is the reality. The mind doesn't like the realities, and it always believes that it gives promises, it gives hopes, it lives in imagination. Imagination is 3 words: hopes, expectations. It's an imagination. It is an imagination. Why it is called as imagination is because that factors that will determine the change is not under your control. It's not under the factors that is going to determine the change is not under your control. The factors that is going to change the nature of your body is not under your control. You can eat ideal food. You can live in an ideal environment. You can live ideal exercises. Body gets diseased. Body gets. When the disease comes, you say, how can it happen to me? Because I let organic food, sir. I changed organic. I don't eat pesticides. I eat only rice and I don't know what all we eat. Ideal dust free, pollution free environment. Yeah. Go and live right on the peak of Himalayas. Body gets what? Disease. Full stop. Body in the disease. You can be affected by that. You can remain unaffected by that. But nevertheless, disease as such cannot be avoided. You understand that? Disease as such cannot be avoided. You can live with it. You can live with it affected. You can live with it unaffected. But nevertheless, it can't be clear. If it can't be avoided, then why live? You take so much of care of the body. You do so much only for the body to get disease. And it's going to die now. Why take care? So, either the body loses interest and I will not take care. It looks very ugly. Yeah. It doesn't even bother because anyway it's going to get disease. No. Already you become instead of allowing the disease, you bring in the disease right away. You understand? Imagination, delusion, expectation, hope. These are all the words that makes life very, very interesting, hopeful. I am very hopeful. I am very hopeful. What is the hope? There is no. All your questions boils down to these things. All your questions that you ask boils down to only these few issues. And how much ever you read, how much ever you understand, he can give all the answers, but it will not enter. It will not enter you. Why it will not enter you? Why you will not enter you? It's like you put food in your mouth and you choke yourself here. You don't allow the food to go in. You are there nobody is there as a block. You yourself is standing there as a block, not allowing it to enter. The knowledge is there, but you don't receive it. You don't receive the knowledge. Why you don't receive the knowledge? It comes to the fundamental question. Why you don't receive the knowledge? You don't receive the knowledge because you already know. Mind doesn't receive the knowledge because you already know. You always want to add up to that which you already know. You can never say fundamentally, I don't know. That you can never say. You will always say, I want to add to that which I already know. So, all your knowledge ends up in making you more and more ignorant. All the knowledge that you take ends up in making you more and more ignorant. How? Because the premise is what? I know, and I only want to add up to that which I already, that which you already know is only, that which you already know is what? That which you already know is ignorance. That which you already know is nothing but ignorance. Yeah. Therefore, you have to drop the ignorance. If you have to drop the ignorance, you can't drop the ignorance unless you gain knowledge. 700 verses of knowledge. 700 verses of knowledge only to tell you what? You are the self. Correct. 700 verses only to say you are the self. You are the self. Don't take it as Vatsalama as the self. Vatsalama is the hindrance to self. You are the self. Don't take it as Meera as the self. Meera is the hindrance. Meera is the hindrance. So, but then we have to say you because there is no other way of saying. You are the self. It's not that. Vijay is self. Vijay ignorance. Somebody said Vijay ignorance. Poor man, he is not ignorant. Okay, he is ignorant, but still ignorant. You are the self doesn't mean, but then you hear it pampers your ego so much. It soothes your ego so much because you go back thinking what? Oh, I am the self. And you stand in front of the mirror and say, wow, I am the self. Now mirror laughs at you and says, wow, you are not the self. Drop that. Mirror says, become like me. Then you become the self. Become like me. Mirror says, become like me. Mirror has no image of itself. It reflects. Whatever comes in front of mirror, it will reflect. But then what is your image? Mirror has no original. 700 verses to say you are the self, and you didn't know that. Not only you didn't know that, you assumed yourself to be something else. What made this assumption so strong? Long, continuous association, thinking. Association means thinking. Association is not physical. Association is always mental. Association is not physical. Association is always mental. Thoughts. You can physically be present here and mentally live elsewhere. Yeah. You can physically live in an ashram and think about the world all the time. You can live here and think about the self, the ashram. Yeah. Sitting there you can think about therefore association never physical. It's always the thoughts, the thinking. Is the thoughts attended or is the thoughts unattended? Is your thoughts attended or is it unattended? Unattended means it goes all by itself and you don't even know that it has gone. That is unattended. Attended means you know exactly where it is present. You know exactly where it is. The thoughts can be attended or unattended. Satsang is good association, mental association, not physical. You can go to the temple and come back very agitated. Yeah. You make a plan, go. Yeah. Suddenly you go there, they say, one VVIP coming and they close all the gates. They give appointments to see God, no? They give appointments, isn't it? 11:15 on Saturday. They give appointments to see God. And you also take that and go. You go there, except God, you see everything else. Except God, you see everything else, and come back with the firm resolve. What? Next time I will not go. How can you make a resolution not to? Make a firm not to go. One small problem here, one small problem there, all the resolution fades away. Again, maybe double. You want to do double practice or not? Yeah. Because you thought God is angry with you. Why he is angry with you? You said, I will not come, no? Teeth is on God. Like that. So, yeah. God is not a person. We'll read. We all will get that book. In another 2 weeks, we will get that book during the lectures. Next week, we will get that book, lectures. God is not a person. At least a super person, no? Okay, not ordinary person. At least a super person. Who's a super person? Who can give you all that you want. He should give you all that you want. He should give you. You fix the time. You fix the time also. Yeah. He should give you. First, he should give you what you want. Second, he should give you when. It's your condition only. Yeah. He should not give it when I don't want it. Yeah. And he should not give all that I do not want. God looks at all that list, he is confused. Why he is confused? Why he is confused? What you asked 5 minutes back is not what you are asking now. What you are asking now is not what you are going to ask 5 minutes later. What you asked when you are 20 is not what you are asking when you are 80. What you are asking at 80, if you live till 160, thank God you don't live so long. You will ask something contradiction. You don't know what you want. Not only you don't know what you want, and every point of time you are very clear also. This is what I want. Every point of time you are very clear also. This is what. And God is confused. Yeah, he said, at least make up your mind and tell me. Yeah, Arjuna is asking Krishna, tell me in one word. Krishna is also asking the same thing. Tell me clearly what you want. You don't come with that clarity. You don't come with that clarity and say, this is what I want. Just left to yourself for 5 minutes, you will come and ask something completely opposite. It could be 5 minutes or it could be 50 years. Doesn't matter. Both are one and the same. You know what you want. You know the time also. Not only you know what you want and the right time for you, you know for others also. Yeah. Not only you know for you know for others also. In this delusion, with this total delusion, Krishna is trying to educate us. They have to sympathize with you. Yeah. With this total delusion, Krishna is trying to educate. And he starts wonderfully. Dharma Kshetre, Kurukshetre. That Dharma Kshetra Arjuna has turned into a Kurukshetra, battlefield. The Kshetra of Dharma has turned into the Kshetra of fight. Battlefield. See, battle nale fight. Adharma. Wherever there is fight, there has to be something adharmic in it. I am fighting for a righteous cause. I am fighting only for your rights, sir. Somebody, for my rights, why do you have to? Yeah. Fighting for? Fight nale it is adharma. Fight nale it is adharma. Why do you have to? Fight? Illana you fall off to sleep. Or you go into a state of inactive, coma, and not do. You understand? Therefore, two things. For the Dharma Kshetra has turned into a Kurukshetra. What is the Dharma Kshetra? You, the individual, the self, has turned yourself into a battlefield. What is the battlefield? Only two things. Battlefield. Only two things in that battle. See, you are fighting for. What are the two things? Enemies, Correct. Destruction. Two things that causes this fight. Two things that causes this fight. What are the two things that causes this fight? Dharma and adharma. Likes and dislikes. Rewind panungo. Again I start from 7:30. Craving and attachment. All fight is because of craving. Sorry. Attachment and craving. Attachment in relation to the past, craving in relation to the all agony, all torture, all suffering, all pain, all stress. The cause is only what? Attachment, craving. Attachment, craving. Both this attachment and craving makes you adharmic. What makes you adharmic? Craving and attachment. That makes you adharmic. What do you do out of craving and attachment? Don't say, What do you do out of craving and attachment? All adharmic activities. All because of attachment. All because of craving. That anxiety, that pressure, that anxiety, that pressure, that feverishness, that it has to be, fight is that feverishness, it has to be done. Okay, don't do it so feverish, now you fall off to sleep and say, I will do. If you can fall off to sleep, it's worth falling off to sleep. You can't fall off to sleep. You only become unconscious. Develop more and more attachment. Because you fall off unconscious, the mind is still working. If you can fall off to sleep, and you can save yourself now. Class எல்லாம் வேண்டாம். எல்லாரும் கிளாஸ் உள்ள வந்தோடனே ஆளுக்கு ஒரு பில் இல்லையா? Take that pill and swallow. If you can do that and all your problems can get solved now, we can do that. Body is asleep, but where is the mind? That is still body is asleep. You can make the body stiff, immobile. Mind is still, even when the body is staying quiet, the mind is not staying quiet. It's still vicious. It's still wanting. It's still calculating. It's cunning. It's calculating. I don't have it. How will I get it? How can I How can I get it? The moment you say, I want to get it, you will always immediately ask for the quickest method. Yeah, the moment you say attainment, immediately you will ask what is the quickest method? What is the easiest? That someone comes and says, the easiest method is what? Buy the talisman from me and wear. You will buy it, you will go for it. Why? Because you have already convinced about achievement. The moment you are convinced about achievement, you always want an immediate. You want the fastest method. You want the quickest method. Yeah. There is no fastest method. There is no quickest method. Neither is there a thing called the slowest method. They are fastest and there is no slowest also. There is no fast. There is no. You understand? And the only reality that you have is your present. And the mind turns blind to that reality. Mind turns blind to that reality and always says what? In the most useful reality, that is the present, I will do all the useless things. And the useful thing, I will postpone it to future. Dharma into adharma. சரியா? சொல்லுங்க. Yes. No. Mind. No. Mind is that mechanism which is wanting to achieve. Achieving is nothing but a form of craving. Correct. Achievement is nothing but a type of craving. Correct. Mind will not cooperate. Left to the mind and ask the mind to cooperate, it will not cooperate. You have to make the mind to cooperate, obey. For the mind as a law, write it down. For the mind to listen, it has to look up to. If it is not looking up to, it will not cooperate. Mind is not listening to you. Why? Because it knows that you are shallow inside. It knows all that you speak is not you, because you can escape from everything else. You can throw a dust in the eyes of others, but how can you throw dust in your own eyes? Is it possible? You will try, but the mind knows. Therefore what? It doesn't look up to you from inside. Or whoever you look up to from outside, who do you look up to from outside? If at all the mind is obeying to some command, if at all the mind is obeying to some instruction, it is because the mind looks up to that source. External sources, how much ever you look up to, it will not function, it will not help. Why? That looking up to should never be an external factor. The starting point is that external factor, but it can never be the external factor all the time. Why? Because you will get quickly neutralized to that source. You will get quickly neutralized to that source. Or you will start seeing all the wrong things there also. There is no wrong things there. You will start seeing. Yeah, you will start seeing. 2 days back, the wife was asking, why have you kept the rule in the academy that visitors are not allowed when Swamiji is not there? I said, we are afraid of visitors. We are afraid of visitors. Why? Because they will start giving discourses to the students. They will start giving, what is the first discourse they will give is what? What will you do after 3 years? Poor boy or girl, they are not thinking about that, they are trying to do something, even that you will not allow them to do. Your first question you will ask is what? After 3 years, what will you do? Or what has people done after 3 years? And the fellow will start taking history. And they will look at all of us. Oh my God, இந்த மாதிரி தான் ஆக போதா? ஐயோ வேண்டவே வேண்டாம். Is this what we are going to become? We don't. I said for this reason only we don't allow. That lady in Brazil, she couldn't control her. She couldn't control her laughter at all. You understand? There is no. You can't look up to after a point of time. That external source, you will start seeing all the. You will start seeing. You will start seeing. You will start seeing. Very close. You will start seeing what you want to see. I told that lady, why visitors are not allowed is because you will see yourself in such a true fashion that you will not know how to handle it. When you see negativity is outside, the negativity is, where is that negativity? Where is it? Inside of you. And we don't want to expose you, I said. We don't want you to get exposed like that. Therefore, no visitors are allowed during Swamiji's first answer. She was so happy. Second answer she got completely. You understand? When you see a negativity, it is inside of you. That's why you see it. Understand that? You see it. You see it because it is within you. When it is not within you, you will not see it. When it is not within you, you will not see it. That's where they say, the English saying, love is blind. The English saying says, love is blind. You will not see it. Even if you see it, you will say, hey, so what? Love is blind. And you don't love. You don't have love. You see it. Because it is not in the other. It is in you. Even if it is there, and if you have love inside of you, Ramatita says love is blind. Blind to the fault in the others, he says. It makes you blind to what? To the fault in the others. Then you love. Otherwise you make even if there is no fault, even if there is no fault, you will go on projecting it. Even if there is no fault there, you will go on projecting it. You will project a fault, you will make a mincemeat of the other, you will criticize the other, you will destroy the other. You understand? Seriya? It is inside of you. It is inside of you. In the form of the negativity is new. Is in the form of Kamayesha, Krodayesha. It is in the form of desires. It's in the form of desires. It is in you, in the form of desires. What is desires? Two things. Attachment, craving. What is desire? How do you understand desire? Wanting, sir. How do you understand want? Two things. Attachment and craving. Therefore, all the problems of human being boils down to attachment and craving. You do not know that you are attached. You do not know that you are craving. Knowledge exposes that attachment in you. Knowledge exposes that craving in you. You understand how ugly it is. You will leave it. That's all. That's how knowledge liberates. Knowledge exposes that in you. When it exposes that in you, you understand how ugly it is. You get a vijigupsa. How can you have? The most unethical thing in life is to get attached. It's unethical. You start entering into another man's territory where you have no jurisdiction. When you are attached, you become unethical. You will start entering into another man's jurisdiction, deciding what you should do, what that person should do, what that person should not do. Attachment is unethical. The worst thing in life is to get attached, because it is peeping into another man's bedroom. Attachment is nothing but peeping into another man's. How unethical it is, how sickening it is to attachment is that. Attachment is only craving. What is craving? Craving is in relation to the future. Craving is in relation to the future. You need to have a strong intellect. Once you build a strong intellect, the mind will say, wow, now there is something inside of you to look up to. Now there is nothing to inside. Now there is nothing inside to look up to. Now it starts looking up to something outside. After a while, what happens? You will get used to it. You will get neutralized to that. So that looking up agency also goes away, and you become more arrogant now, because during that small association you would have developed some more information, you would have gathered some more intelligence, and all that intelligence you can use to justify all that intelligence that you have gathered in that small period of association, you will know how to justify it. Blinding darkness. From ordinary darkness you move into blinding darkness. To avoid that, he keeps on saying, every class monotonously I keep on saying reflection. Monotonously reflection. Study, reflection. Study, reflection. Both strengthens the intellect, and the mind will start looking up to that inside of it. Then it will never waver. Then it obeys. Like the rat in front of Ganesha. There it obeys. It stays quiet. Not doing anything all by study and சரியா?